All opinions expressed by the program participants are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Upscale Love for You. The program participants' opinions are based on the information that they consider from their own knowledge. No expressions or accuracy is related to Upscale Love for You.
Good evening, everyone. This is yours truly, Dr. Fabulous, and I am so excited tonight. We have new guests, old guests, but whatever guest you are, we appreciate you for tuning in for Tantalizing Talk with Upscale Love for You. All right, so you know what? I am the CEO and founder of Upscale Love for You, and guess what? I'm too excited to have a wonderful crew. And starting out my crew this evening, I'm gonna call on none other than Dr. Feel Good. Are you ready, Dr. Feel Good? Unmute yourself, Dr. Feel Good. You got to be smarter than the equipment.
Yeah, that's my line, but that's way, yes. This is Dr. Feelgood, the man with the golden voice, Lady's Choice, and of course, Smoothies Rolls Royce, coming to you live from the 571 where I get things done and I'm having a lot of fun. Hopefully, everything is going well and I'm keeping it strong and I'm keeping it swell. Just know that it's going to be a humding of a show. How do you unbreak a heart, or how do you heart a heal? And you want to be there, so I'm going to give you a meal full of word and make you think you're going to wind up flipping me the bird. Now, back to you, Dr. Fab.
All right, without further ado, we're going to slide it right on over to the one, the only, Lady T.
Welcome, everyone. This is Lady T. I'm coming live from the 305, and this ride tonight is going to be hot and heavy. So, guys, I want you to bring it like no other. I'm just so excited. Welcome, everyone. I am going to slide it on over to Nasty J, and let's see what he has to say.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in for the show. It'll be a fun topic. Go on, like everybody, participate and get your opinion and pass it on to Dr. Fabulous.
Hey. Yes, this is yours truly, Dr. Fabulous again. I don't know where my friend is, Special K. She may be running a little late today, but nevertheless, she's on the way, all the way from the 912 in the Sugar City of Savannah, GA. So until she gets here, of course, you know, we're going to keep it moving right along. And if this is your first time joining Tantalizing Talk with Upscale Love for You, let me just give you a little insight about what Upscale Love for You is all about. So welcome back. The purpose of Upscale Love for You is to formulate, to entertain, educate, and facilitate self-help, self-love, and everything you want or wish to know about love, relationships, dating, and of course, marriage. You know, we talk about ending divorce, we talk about being a widower, you name it, we talk about it. So, without further ado, if you are looking for a good conversation, you are definitely in the right place. And you know, sometimes we talk about sensitive issues and it can get a little hot and heavy. But one thing I would like for you all to know, your point of view is your point of view, and it's not held against Upscale Love for You. But we also want you to know to please keep it classy and not trashy, because you can get your point across and say what you want to say without using vulgarity, without being extremely explicit. So without further ado, and like I said, we welcome you all the time here on Tantalizing Talk. But tonight's topic is, how do you heal a broken heart? Or how do you heal, period? Because some of us heal differently. And I'm just going to put it out there. The healing mechanism for women may be totally different for men. Prime example for myself, when I went through the healing process of losing my husband, of course, not losing him as he left me, losing him because God called him home. I thought, you know how some people are crackheadish? I was shopheadish. I shopped every day. And the joke between myself and my husband was, he used to always say, babe, you go and buy up all them people's stuff and you keep it for 29 and a half days and return it on the 30th. So stop doing that. So when he passed away, he wasn't here to tell me to return it. Man, I shopped morning, noon, and night, and that was my therapy. So everybody heals differently. Now, the question that was on the poll this week was, do men heal quicker from a broken heart than women? So in the chat, I would like for you all to type in the chat, do you believe that men heal quicker or do women heal quicker? Yes or no? Just put it in. And without further ado, I'm going to slide it right over to you, Lady T. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Thank you, Dr. Fabulous. I want to start the conversation off tonight by saying, have you ever been in a relationship and got hurt, but then you turned to a friend, of the opposite sex, and you had a platonic relationship, which is non-sexual, and you end up trying to heal with that person, but then you start to fall in love with them? Anyone? Dr. Feel Good, would you start it off?
Guilty.
Latrice says she's guilty. Latrice, you don't want to tell me?
Hey,
Okay,
hey,
Latrice.
here's what it is. Here's what it is that when it's called the Florence Nightingale syndrome, when somebody's in a deep hurt and someone comes and speaks healing words to them, they're not in a good place to make solid judgments. So then they wind up falling for that person, even if that person wasn't trying to get them to go to that next level. A lot of times emotions cloud all of our judgments. Emotions are not bad, to just cloud our judgments. And the issue is that, do you want to be that person to re-break that person's heart? Or do you just step back and kind of say, hey, I know where we're going and this is not going to end well. We need to keep it at a certain level. Sometimes stepping away totally is an appropriate response if you feel the person's getting too close to you because you don't want to complicate your relationship. And I don't mean, like I said, it doesn't have we're talking platonic, we're not talking emotion, we're not talking romantic. That's all I got.
Okay, that was a good answer. And I sure have like 2 or 3 more questions after that, but I'm gonna let the panel speak their truth. Latrice? Where? I thought I saw her up here. Okay, who would like to go next?
Well, I'm going to jump in and say I didn't raise my hand or anything, but you said that you turn to the other sex and it's strictly platonic. But I am speaking from an area of truth. I do believe that when you have a platonic relationship where you don't put any sexual, not even down to kissing, it could be a great thing for a healing process. But I do believe as you spend time with that individual, believe it or not, that individual start to grow on you. That person could have been the worst looking person in the world, but because he knew how to, I won't say stroke your ego, but help you through the pain or knew the words of comfort for you, you start to look at that individual in a different manner. So I'm going to say most of the time when you have a platonic relationship, it stands strong for, I want to say about a good 4 or 5 months. But when you start moving into that 6th month, and dog, we've been getting along well, is this the person that I needed to have in my life, opposed to saying just being a friend? Is he really the one? So we really have to think about that. Okay, I see Heather got her hand up, Lady T.
Is it okay to speak?
Yes,
Go right
Heather, go
ahead,
ahead.
Heather.
Awesome. So the question was posed, how do you heal? How have you healed? I have gone through emotional roller coasters about, what had taken place, as well as looking at myself as somehow, in a negative way. How could I have done something differently, or how could I have changed? And a lot of times just going through an emotional process, and for however long that would take, I would eventually move on and kind of pour it back into myself, making sure I'm, following through on things that I should have been focused on if I was pulled away from it because I allowed the relationship to take over. A lot of that would be like in the gym, trying to get your mind off of it, taking on a different hobby, helping out family a little bit more. Just getting back to self and trying to just strengthen your mind and your heart, whatever you felt like you had given to somebody that you feel depleted at that point after a breakup. I think what's interesting, and I'm so looking forward to hearing, is the men's perspective on healing, because I did put something in the chat about, yes, I feel like men heal faster, but then I changed it because I don't know if the word is correct, healing. I feel like I've experienced and seen men, even friends and exes, they move on quickly, but I don't know if healing, and I would love to hear a man define what does healing mean for men, and what does that look like. So there you have it.
Awesome, Heather. Well, you made a valid point. Now, I guess the question that I'm looking for is, when you're in that relationship, majority of men tend to replace the person, and they heal that way. Now, the person that they're replacing, do you think that person would be a rebound person? Or do you think after a breakup that second person that they deal with would really be like, the love of their life per se?
I think it would depend on the situation and what the breakup was about, who was, who the parties involved, and, was it both of the parties' fault, if it was the man's fault? Because in some cases that I've seen even today, some men are already dealing with somebody. So when they break up, some of them have already engaged, or they're in something. It might be the early stages, it might be middle stages. I don't know. I actually spoke to my father about this today, and I was like, Dad, I need to pose the question to you, right? Old school player from the Himalaya. Like, let me know what it is. And he was like, it depends on where some men are in their lives. You know what I mean? After a breakup or a situation that can dictate, how they move on and how they heal. So I don't know if I could answer that question, but I would love to hear a male's perspective on this.
Okay, Anson, you're up next.
Hello, everyone. First and foremost, I want to shatter this whole narrative of men versus women, because we all get over heartbreak, and we all do it different ways. And some men do the same thing as women do. Some women do the same thing as men do. So I'm just gonna shatter that narrative off rip. And to answer Heather's question about how this man gets over I guess heartbreak. You have to be in love first of all to get over heartbreak. So if you never be in love, then you won't be able to deal with heartbreak. But in lieu of the conversation, getting over someone, you just keep living. You know what I mean? Whatever you need to do to live, keep doing that. I mean, that's what I would say is getting over heartbreak is that you just live. You continue to live and you continue to do what you need to do for yourself in order to live. So as long as you're happy in doing that, whether you in love or not, it really don't matter.
I don't know, Anson. I think I need a little love with that somehow.
And what was your question again, Lady T? I'm sorry, I got caught up in the one that Heather asked. That's why I raised my hand. But I was trying to listen to your question, but I was trying to formulate my thoughts at the same time. Lady T.
What happened to you, Lady T? You there?
Oh, there you go. There you go. Sorry about that. So the question is, can a platonic relationship be turned into a genuine or rebound relationship? Because from what I'm told by a majority of men, that they replace a woman, just to get over that relationship. So that's the question.
I feel like any platonic relationship can be a loving relationship. Depends on what you want to make it. So you can have a best friend most of your life as a child, and all of a sudden you may have been married and divorced several times over, and then y'all finally wind up being together. You start off as a platonic relationship. Would that person be considered a rebound or the real deal? It all depends on it all boils down to what you make of it.
Okay, I respect that. What about you, Beard One? What are your thoughts?
Honestly, I think some of the best relationships do sometimes start off as platonic, but it's not a rebound. It's the same thing. People like to think that men and women are really different. We really ain't. And this is speaking from a guy that's went through heartbreak, went through breakup, fell in love, and then went south. We're not really different. It's just our coping mechanisms are different, but the mentality that we have and the things and the stages that we got to go through, they the same. So when you sit back and you say, okay, we jump on this chick to get underneath this chick, that's because we've been told that's how you do it. You know what I mean? That's how you get over a chick, by getting underneath a number. But that's not necessarily, how we do it. That we don't already have another chick lined up, or we bounce to the next chick. We got pain. You know what I'm saying? We hurt too. We don't know what we're doing. We're more out of touch with our emotions, so to speak, than women are. So when y'all sit back and as women and y'all try to process and digress and dive into yourselves and let it all out, we're not doing that. As a man, we're not made to do that. We're not taught to do that. So we ball it all up and we do what we naturally was in the spirit. I ain't gonna say spiritually, but naturally and inherently was told to do. You mate, you conceive, you have sex. It'll make it better. After we done having sex with about 3-4 chicks, we still thinking about that one. You know what I mean? And we're passing the time between the last relationship to the next one, just like y'all are. But we're not gonna sit in the room and cry and then tell you we was at home crying all week. We're not gonna sit in the room and mope and drink and look crazy and then tell you messed up my whole world. We're not gonna do that. So it's not necessarily okay, dudes rebound and bounce back next just as fast as women do. Because I know some women that they hop from a dude to dude just like that too, but they still hurting on the inside. As guys, we do it too. We're not gonna show our cards or expose our wounds like y'all do. That makes sense?
Yes, it does, Beard One. And you said some things that got me thinking. So when a guy is banging a girl, like banging Susie on Monday, Lisa on Tuesday, and Sarah on Wednesday, I mean, you don't have no type of reaction, no type of like, man, I shouldn't be doing this, or man, I should fight for my girl. Like none of that. You just want to hit it with it.
It depends on the stage in which the man. You talk about somebody that a woman that was in love with a dude and he just already knew that that wasn't going to be it, but he liked being in that place. Okay, he might not have the emotional attachments that a woman has. Then you got a dude that was vested in a woman. He just smash every chick he see. You know what I mean? He might just completely shut down. So he in the house, he drinking, he losing weight. Men go through that too. We not gonna tell you going through that. We're gonna make sure you think we good. We're gonna make sure the boys think we good. We don't want no peace. You know what I mean? You might think I done smashed 5, 6 chicks, and I really just talked to 2 of them and got tired of them, and I just ghosted them. But I'm not finna give you the dagger and let you know that, yo, you just stabbed me from heart to heart. Because, you know, some women will use that against me the next time we get into it. Or the next time we break up, oh, watch this girl, I'm finna break this dude down. And women like for men to show vulnerability, but a lot of women can't handle that vulnerability when it's given to them. They're not responsible with it. So it gets weaponized against us whenever they feel like it. So we can't, so to alleviate all that, we just don't show it. We're gonna let you see.
Boy, and somebody jump out the chair down there,
the
y'all.
way we know how to.
Talk your talk.
I can agree with that, Beer Wine. You made some valid points about that. Okay.
Can you talk more about the vulnerability part? Because I'm really interested in hearing that. So wait. So women could be vulnerable. Men can't handle. You're saying women can't handle the vulnerability of a man to either share his feelings, his emotions. Why is that again? I'm sorry.
Because if a man overshares his emotions to a woman, she looks at him as weak. Simple as that.
Yeah, that part.
Guys, you're telling us y'all want us to be strong. Y'all want us to be tough. Y'all want us to be able to be that person, the rock in times of need. So as your man, I cannot be crying at the movies. I cannot be crying at weddings. I cannot be crying just because my feelings are hurt. If I do that, y'all let us cry maybe a tear or two. I don't know. Anybody remember that record, Papa Don't Give No Mess? Papa Don't Take No Mess from James Brown?
Yes.
No, dear.
It said, he said a line there. He said, when my brother died, my daddy cried. He said he had something in his eye.
Mm-hmm.
So he wasn't allowed to, David Ruffin said a man ain't supposed to cry. He said, listen, I got to cry because crying heals the pain. And a lot of men can't release their pain to a person who will then get in an argument and then turn it around on you. That's why you cry like a little bee when your mama died. That's why you cry.
Dr. Feelgood, I hear this all the time from men, but yet some men want women who they can trust with their emotions, that are not so strong and trying to be in a leadership position. And then when we're soft, we're clingy, it's too much. I think a lot of the messages that we all have gotten in growing up in our childhood has messed all of us up, because I'm looking for that vulnerable man. You can't tell a man, I promise not to throw it in your face later on. But at the same time, it's just like, it's honesty with just who you are. And I don't know, does it take until we get middle-aged or older for people to feel vulnerable because we all have something to prove to each other?
I got you, Heather. I got you. I'm finna answer your question straight up like I always do. I'm always straight to the point. Look, you can punch someone in the face, but I'll put it this way. You can pull a trigger, but you might not necessarily kill somebody. But if you pull that trigger and you aim it at somebody's head, then chances are you're going to kill that person. So fact of the matter is, you got to be careful with what you do. You everything don't have to be deadly. Everything don't have to be bad.
Exactly. So I don't understand why you're using this analogy. And we're talking about feelings and emotions. And I think that's the problem right there.
I speak in extremes so you can understand my point. My point is
I'm
that
not getting it. I'm sorry.
My point is that you can do certain things and it can be harmless or it can be detrimental. So That's the analogy there. Like
That
you can
sounds like a person
have a
that's
good.
not healed. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like a person that is not healed because whatever those emotions are, and you're fearful that someone is not going to hold on to it properly, is something that now needs to be discussed either in a spiritual sense or a professional sense, because not everybody's out to get everybody. Like we keep hearing the same old thing. Whoever show what people show you, believe them, right? So a lot of times it's like if you get to a certain point or age or maturity level and someone is showing you who they are, why not believe it?
In my analogy, the emotion that a man shows is the gun. So you can use that either good or bad. That's the analogy.
But Anson, doesn't that go both ways? Doesn't it go both ways though?
You were talking about men only, but
Okay.
now both ways. You can't have it the way you want to have it. It's both ways.
Well, you never get anything the way you want to, but I feel that, like you said, Anson, men and women are all the same. However, women are a little bit nurturing, a little bit more, nurturing than a man. Yes, a woman can go out there and fuck a dude Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, just to get that first dude, off their mind. But the question is it going to help? It's kind of like doing drugs. You go, you get that high, but then when you're done, you still have to deal with the situation, right? So,
I mean, with that person, but if I'm expressing myself to you and you, my lady, but you bring it back up later, then that's the gun. Why are you shooting that gun at me? You know what I mean?
I'm like a man who cries. I don't know about anybody else. I just need a little loving, tender care.
All right.
I'm sorry you've experienced that, Anson, and I'm sorry that a lot of men have taken that to heart, where that it has literally paralyzed them from sharing more.
Plenty of men that have experienced that. That's why I understood what Dr. Feelgood was saying earlier. A lot of women use that against men.
I'm sorry you had that experience. So
I just told you I didn't have that experience.
Well, I'm not saying you. I'm saying per se, men have had that experience. Okay.
Lady T,
You are speaking on behalf of the men, so yeah.
Well, here's another thing. I recall the video that I saw where this lady dumped her boyfriend. He got jumped on by like 3 guys and got beat down, but one dude like hit him, and she said the way that he fell wasn't manly enough for her.
Oh God!
And she broke up with him.
Are you talking about sisters?
No, it's I've heard a couple of videos like that where women, she was like, well, I knew it was 3 guys and they did get him, but the way he fell down just wasn't, he didn't fall fighting. He still should have been throwing punches. And so if she can quit him when he get his ass beat, what you gonna think she would do if he came to her in an emotional state?
And
like
also
1911. That women, y'all, you can be together however many years, the sex is good, but when y'all get mad, all of a sudden he a little dick motherfucker.
Yeah.
Y'all.
I don't know about the little dick. If it's good, it's good. I don't care how mad
that's you.
Can we refrain from the overture of profanity? I appreciate that, but 1911 had a point. Douglas had a point. A lot of times, Miss Heather, is that we, when women get upset, they get in their emotions. And since they can't beat you physically, well, most of them, what they do is they try to hurt you emotionally to get you to react and get you off get a man off his square. A man's supposed to bring stability, order, and systems in a relationship. Without that, you have that celebrity couple, the Smiths. And, you know, and like I said, a woman doesn't have the physical strength to hurt a man physically. So she does what she does best. She says words. And women, y'all know how to hurt people with words. They don't have, you know, like I said, that's why you cried at your mama's funeral, because you was a B. And that, you know, and they don't actually mean it, but they just want to do it so that you feel their pain. And a lot of times we jump from relationship to relationship because we're unhealed. We hadn't gotten to therapy. We hadn't gotten the catharsis that we need to be able to handle having our buttons pushed. Because there's some people in your life that no matter what you do, they're gonna come in, they're gonna try to push a button. And when the majority of women get angry, they're going to push a button, because as soon as you leave your square, guess what? They have something to hold over you. And I'm not saying every woman. I'd be stupid and naive to say it was all women. But I have witnessed personally, I have heard anecdotally, and a lot of the men, we all can't be not seeing the same thing. That's what I'm saying. Men talk, just like women talk. Men talk. We know 4 or 5 people that gone through that stuff. And, you know, so that's kind of, and you're right, we should be open and honest and transparent with each other, with our feelings, with our thoughts. But a lot of times, all that goes out the window when people get in their emotions. I'm done.
Dr. Feelgood. Who else? Someone else had their hand up. Danny, where are you, Danny?
Well, Miss Millie got her hand up.
Oh, okay, that's who it was. Okay, hey, Miss Millie, I apologize about that.
Well, my input on it, I just been listening. My input on it, I think both. I did put in the men do take longer to heal because they hold it. Because when you go to dating, they go to expressing it all. And when they're talking about how they got hurt and it hurt them so bad, that's because they have not totally healed over it. But women do the same thing. But men hide it better than women in most cases, because they're going to do anything in their power that a lot of time that the next party might not know. They're going to go around the side to get back to that lady if they possibly can. If there's an ounce of an opportunity for them to get back with that person that hurt them so bad, sometime it'd be a case for them to go back and hurt them the way they hurt them, and sometimes because they generally love them. So it's really a catch-20 on how it goes. It could be either way.
Okay, valid points. Heather, I see your hand up again. You're on fire tonight, Heather.
I am, because I want to know. I mean, because a lot of times in a lot of conversations with, you know, the men would say always, you know, the women always have stuff to say, but what about the fragility of a woman and what she's going through and what she expresses to a man, and how sometimes that's not heard, or it's not considered, or it's not addressed? You know, it's not like I'm trying to do a tit for tat with the men, because we all deal with things differently, right? Women are a little bit more emotional, some women. But we're just as fragile as men as well. But it's like for men, when their healing process is always way more important than the women. I don't know if it's because we have the resiliency to say, you know what, I was hurt, I was this, I was that. We turn it back around. We get 3 degrees. We take trips. We figure out ways to kind of get back to ourselves. But men find other ways to kind of deal with that hurt. And it's okay for them, but nobody addresses what a lot of women go through as nurturers, as the emotional one, as the one that tries to be the backbone and support system for their partner.
Y'all got girlfriends to talk to about that stuff.
Y'all
You
got
all have male friends. So what's the difference?
We don't go in as deep. You got to know a dude 10, 15 years to talk about emotional stuff.
No. I beg to differ.
Yeah.
Not now, not these days.
Back when we were growing up, yes, you knew people a long time, but now people classify people as their friends in 6 months to a year, which it takes
Yes.
longer than that to really know a person and really, really call them a deep friend. But men express their emotions too, because I like talking to men, so I find out the real deal.
That's right, Miss Millie. Okay.
How
I
old
wanna
are
hear
these
from-
men?
I'm 55. I don't talk to babies on that level. So
Okay, then.
they're of age. I talk to younger guys like, hello, how you doing? But when I get deep into a conversation, my oldest son is 38. So I don't talk to guys of that age because I look at them as like my son figure. So I usually talk
Right.
to guys
So
that's
when you
more
get up
mature.
in your mid 50s and stuff, we get old and we open up just a little bit more.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
Douglas.
because we care. That's because we care less. Because we ain't got time to be BSing.
That
Okay.
too.
All right.
Let's get to the point. But overall, hey, for this subject, y'all, if it's still out there, TD Jakes, emotions. How if you go back in little girls when they 2-3 years old, they get a baby doll and play house and learn how to be nurturers and stuff. Fellas, we go out there and rough them, tough them.
Y'all had
Well, you
Ken,
gotta
don't
be
try
tough.
it. Y'all had Ken.
No, you had Ken. We didn't have it.
That's right.
No,
Oh,
y'all
Y'all,
had
they
But we
had
did have
Ken, 'cause
we
they
did
was
have
they adopting
no,
nurse.
hey, we
They
had
had
G.I.
brother.
Joe with the Kung Fu grip, and you threw him up in trees all the time. He wasn't playing house. He was
Okay.
he was
Yeah,
parachuting.
the way y'all played house back in the day, y'all played mommy and daddy outside. So don't do it. Y'all did it too.
That was we played doctor in the basement and stuff like that. But anyway, but
Let me
in
hear from some of the
general,
other guys, Douglas.
men, we're not taught to show our emotions. The emotions we can show are anger. We can get mad and slap somebody and stuff. That's
Not
like,
the slap, Douglas.
Say again.
I
Not
said
the
not the
Ike,
slap.
not the Ike Turner.
We were allowed to display aggressive emotions. But
Aggressive
going up
emotion
to
on
somebody
who?
and say, I'm sorry I hit you hard or stuff, only if your parents made you do it. But we didn't feel that. And so it's
Oh, you saying you got slapped?
no, I said we was taught we could hit folks. I remember I used to love the Army.
Hit
and I
women
had
too.
this,
Women too. Hit women too.
I had this fake grenade and I threw it at the neighbor up the street, hit him in the head. But whoever said women too, you should keep your hands to yourself. And if you're the female type and you want to hit a dude, then hey, fair game.
Go ahead, Leanne.
No, I meant women too when he said we were taught to hit. If a woman doesn't hit you and you angry at her for some reason, are you passing the lick?
I said if you were hit, you have a
You
right to
said
defend
men
yourself.
were taught to hit. You said men were taught to hit.
So
Hit
who
if
hurt
they
you?
were-
Who
He
hurt
said
you?
if they're a woman, if they gave a lick, then they should be able to take one back. That's basically what he said. If a woman hit a man, they should be able to accept that man hitting them back. If I'm not mistaken, that's what it
Well,
I
sounds
think
like.
that's what he's saying.
I
I think
am
that's what he's
saying
saying.
that boys were taught they could release their emotions and anger and hit folks. No, I grew up, you shouldn't hit little girls and all that good stuff and all that too. But as you get older, well, I taught my son you have a right to defend yourself, male or female. If someone wants to hit you, you can hit them back, male or female.
All right, Douglas, I hear what you're saying. Now, I don't know if Lady T can see, but we have hands up. Heather's your hand up from the last question. Anson, is your hand up from the last question? Because we want to get the hands off the table if they're up.
No.
Oh, okay. So yours was up. Anson? Oh, you just took yours down. Okay,
I
so,
got, yeah, wait, I got one more response.
okay,
And she said that with the hand on the hip and the head shaking, that sounds like I just telling dudes to go out there and beat women down, which is not the case. I'm saying you have a right to defend yourself. Because there's videos out there, this dude standing in the emergency room, his back split open from his shoulder to his waist, and he bleeding out and stuff. And he's like, but I didn't hit the back. Man, F that FTS.
Nicholas,
No, we're
Nicholas,
agreeing. I think Latrice was agreeing too that if a woman hits you, she should be able to handle that hit back.
but I'm
But
lost.
I was thinking,
I don't see
No,
nobody
I
with their
wasn't
head
agreeing
on
to
their
that.
hip.
I wasn't
Okay.
agreeing to that. I was just interpreting what I thought he was saying, which I was correct, but I wasn't agreeing to it. I was interpreting what he said.
Oh,
right,
okay.
because I don't think no lick should be passed either way. Nobody should put their hand unless it's a loving and affectionate manner.
That's right.
So,
Okay.
I mean, no one should hit anyone, like I said, unless it's a love tap. Okay?
All
Okay.
right.
Because there are women out there that are abusive,
And
and men shouldn't
manly.
have and men shouldn't have to take it. But I was listening to him and I'm like, hit a woman too. I was just trying to get clarification. That's all.
No,
Right,
I'm
and
not
I was
advocating for just going
clarify what I
to
thought.
beat a woman down. No, that's not what I'm saying. But yeah, you know, when you hit somebody, it's an even game. You know, I
Okay,
heard,
so
well,
let's stay on topic. That's a whole nother topic for another
Okay.
night. Okay,
Millie got her
Julie,
hand
did-
up.
Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Millie. I don't know why I can't see her here.
Okay, just quick,
Okay.
like I know we're talking about getting over being hurt, etc. But everybody have the right to express their own opinion. That's what the show is about. And Mr. Danny, what you mean women talk too much? Men do too. Just when they're both parties expressing their feelings when they're hurt. That's what I got.
Men gossip just as much as women.
And I
Danny,
think they
the cat got
got
your tongue tonight. You chatting, you putting in the chat box,
Yeah.
but we don't
Yeah,
hear
then
your
you
voice.
need to talk. Okay, he ain't playing with us
He's
tonight.
scared.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
He's
busy. I'm busy,
scared.
but
Somebody done scared him
some of
away.
y'all talk too damn much at the wrong damn time. We don't want to hear that shit.
Oh Lord.
but here's
I
the
hurt
question.
you.
Correct yourself,
Agreed,
please.
agreed.
What do you mean talk too much at the wrong time?
Freedom
Hello?
of speech.
He must be
Hello?
at
Answer the
work, y'all.
question.
He on the
I
clock.
When y'all don't want to be bothered or we just leave it alone, we leave it alone. When we tell y'all to leave it alone, no, y'all want to keep going.
Not all women. Some women will hang up on you and walk away, but don't categorize
and
every
that's the
woman.
woman that I respect. That's the woman that I respect.
Right. But
Give me my
what we were
space.
talking about, but the dialogue is we're communicating at that time. When women and men are communicating and someone shuts down and walk away, you're no longer communicating.
No, that means it's getting heated.
Not necessarily.
Most of the time that means
Or-
you want to hear what
or
the other
exactly-
party have to say at that moment.
Right.
Exactly. That's what I just said. We don't want to hear that shit. That's what I said.
But it's
See,
probably
that's the
because it's
problem. See,
because
that's the
it's heated
problem. When
on
you label
your
it, that's
side.
shit.
I
And then
said
when that
both
person
parties.
doesn't see it as shit, that's the problem. That's belittling and that's dismissive. And that's not good communication. That's not caring about how somebody feels, whether what I saw in the chat, you're feeling poked or you're feeling like you don't want to talk. We're grown, we're adults. We have tools to be able to talk to each other to stop that, that conversation if it's getting heated or if it's getting to a point where you don't want to continue. And that's all you have to say. If
I
the
am listening.
delivery,
No,
if your
what did
delivery
Miss
is
Millie
jacked
just
up,
said? Miss Millie
if your
just said it.
delivery
When
is
the
jacked
conversations
up,
get hit, you just hang up. Right or wrong, Miss Millie? High
I
five.
think both parties should talk about it and communicate and not just say one is talking too much. We should be saying, okay, let's table it right now because we're getting heated and we don't need to keep going. Not just say the other person is talking too much, because everybody have the right to say what they choose to say, man or woman.
But here's
Okay.
the thing. Here's the thing. We get so fed up and frustrated we don't want to talk anymore, so we just say, be quiet, shut up, and it goes on, but y'all keep poking and poking and poking. And then to control his emotions, the dudes walk away, and here y'all are, oh, so you don't want to talk to me? You just need a break. Just get some silence. Stop asking me stuff. That's what he's talking about.
But I
Y'all
think
don't
you
know
should
how
use
to
another
be
word
quiet.
besides be quiet and shut
Y'all
up.
don't know how to be quiet and step back and like, okay, let me let this simmer down a little bit.
Okay.
Y'all just keep poking and poking. And that's what gets frustrating and stuff. And
Thank you.
and
Thank you.
and that's what gets elevated, and that's what leads to the hands-on.
No, ain't no
I'm
hands
gonna
on.
make you shut
No
up, so I'm
hands
gonna
over
choke you
here,
out.
boo-boo.
Go ahead,
So,
Aunt.
and that's why, when he get arrested and stuff, she brought it on herself. She wouldn't shut up.
You might not live to get arrested because if you put your hands on somebody, they might pull out their piece.
What?
All right,
So
then.
you may not have the
But-
opportunity.
but
I've
here-
never in my
see,
life.
listen,
Wait a minute.
listen.
Wait a minute.
Women,
I have
women,
never in my life
Can you
been
be
hit
quiet
by
for
a
a moment?
man in an abusive way.
See, this is a
I've
prime
gotten
example.
spanked by my
Okay,
dad.
let's
Prime
show
example.
some chivalry, one person at a time, because I can't hear
I've
both.
gotten spanked by my dad, but a man has never laid his hands on me in an abusive manner.
All
You
right.
know
Here we
why?
go.
You know why?
Go ahead,
Communication. Communication.
Okay, so y'all
When
are two
that
people that
man
can
meets
communicate
you,
effectively to each other. But see, this is what's going on. Y'all refuse to listen what men have to say. We're saying when we get in a point where we no longer want to talk and we say, can you be quiet? You keep going. You keep going. You keep going. And we would try to walk away. You come behind us and you keep going and you keep going.
It looked
We
like
get
what
in the
you're doing
car
right
and
now to
pull
get
out.
the last point in.
Dr.
See,
Bacon is
see,
gonna Dr. Fabulous is gonna jump right on in here, Douglas. You know I love you, but I'm gonna snip, cut, and drop to the point. Lady K, Special K was running late this evening and did not get a chance to introduce herself. So if
I'm
she would
here.
introduce herself at this time, and then without further ado, we're gonna turn it over to you, Lady K. Special K. I'm getting Lady T and Special K mixed. I'm merging. I'm submerging tonight. So Special K, are you ready?
I am. Can you guys hear me? Because I'm on my cell phone tonight.
We can.
Okay. Okay. Well, as most of you know, and for those who don't, I'm Special K, part of the Upscale Love for You crew. I just want to welcome everybody. But this tonight's show, I must say, I've been quiet because I've really been listening. And this is a good topic, a good conversation. And when we discussed the topic, there was a reason for it, and it really hits home for me. So I'm really getting a lot out of this. So I want to thank everyone for participating tonight. So basically, when it comes down to the healing, I really feel as if you really need to give yourself time and space to just be yourself. And I think it might have been Anson kind of touched on that about just living life. I don't so much agree with jumping in out of one relationship into another per se. And I feel that women we'll distance ourselves. We'll take a whole year off and just focus on ourselves. I think that's a true statement. So I really feel like part of the healing process is to give yourself some time and space to just be yourself, to heal and like self-reflect, maybe pour more into yourself, and I'm gonna say something, Heather, I had this thought about, and you said the exact same thing. So great minds think alike. But I wanted to say, it's like you do a hobby, invest yourself in a hobby, traveling. For a lot of women and men, starting a healthy lifestyle, a healthy physical journey, so that for the next person, you're even better than you were before, physically, mentally, emotionally. And I just think that that's the best thing you could do for yourself and to offer anyone else. I also feel as if a major part of the healing process
is trying to let go. Working on letting go and trying to let go of your past hurt experiences. But I don't feel that we should never take baggage into a new relationship. But things that have happened, I mean, it's life, it's a lesson, it's a learning experience. So with that being said, I mean, you also have to use those hurtful experiences as a lesson when moving forward, so that you don't make the same mistakes and you can recognize maybe, as they say, the red flags for the next time. But so just basically self-healing, self-reflecting, taking time for yourself, I think is a great thing for men and women. Women are going to be there for men and men are going to be there for women. I think that is just a major part of healing. So what I wanted to ask tonight was, how soon do you think it's too soon to get back into the dating scene after a heartbreak? Like, is there an actual time frame and limit on that? Is there a right or wrong time limit? I just kind of wanted to hear. I'm sorry, go ahead, Anson.
It all depends on the person. It could be the same day. It could be months later. Depends on the person.
Do you think the same day after having your heart broken and you actually moving on the same day and you go out on a date, say you meet someone, go out on a date, do you think that's healthy?
For that person, it might be, because at the time you might be ready to love at that moment. Who you're ready to love might not be ready to be loved. So why not let somebody else? If you want to do it right then, do it right then.
But Anson, you said something earlier. Anson, when you're doing that, that means you don't love the person. And it's okay to go the next day because you really didn't love that person in the beginning.
I mean, that's
if you really love somebody, if you really love somebody, you're not just gonna go out there and get somebody.
But that's according to you. That might not be according to them. All live different lives.
Okay.
Sometimes people go out there and use it as a coping mechanism in order to cope with the hurt or the breakup or the split. So sometimes they may just go out there and deal with somebody that week or, right away, because that's sometimes a coping mechanism for some people.
So do you feel that that's fair to the person, that not the person who's hurting, but the person who's being dated or being pursued? Because I feel like if you had a heartbreak and you go with someone the next day, I don't think that's fair. That's fair to that person. They don't actually maybe not know what they're stepping into. And that's why
that can happen the day of, or can happen long afterwards. They can still be. It don't matter if you meet them the same day or months later. It could be coping still. So it's up to you and how you receive it.
Okay. I see. Is it Keisha? I see your hand is up.
Yes.
Okay, you can go ahead.
Well, someone taught me something today, but before anything, healing is different for everybody. Don't matter how old you are, healing is different for everybody. One thing a guy taught me today was that if you put happiness in somebody else's responsibility, you will always feel like crap, because happiness is not someone's responsibility. Just like if you got to pay your bills, is your responsibility. So your happiness should not rely on somebody else's hand. Yes, you will be hurt because dang, I wanted to see something, but my happiness was in your hand. You added to my happiness, but it's not in your hands. And dang, I forgot what I was gonna say. I'm gonna come back.
Okay, no problem. Great point. I see we got Danny. I see you, Danny. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the same thing she said, but it depends on the person. I know somebody, you saying somebody that broke up with somebody and got with somebody the next day. I know somebody that their husband died and the next 2 weeks they was with somebody else. And this is somebody older, not nobody younger. So it depends on the person.
So to me, that sounds like a situation to where they don't want maybe to be alone. Some people are used to being in relationships or with someone. And that's why I just say, I don't know how fair that is to the other person on that other side of that.
Nah, that wasn't that. They knew what they were doing.
So they must have had this person all along, because 2 weeks after death, that's a little quick. But like you said, to each his own.
Yep.
I mean, It depends. So, you know, sometimes when you coping, you go out, you see somebody want stuff like that. Like it's not always that we have somebody next to us or we're always having, because if you have somebody along with your relationship, that means you already know this relationship isn't going to work. That's why you're investing into someone else at the same time. So I don't feel like it's always, oh, you're talking to this person. No, I may have met this person. I went out because I was really sad. I met this person and boom, we started connecting.
You know what, Keisha and Special K, I'm jumping in right here because we had a person that came on Tantalize and talked several times, and she met a man and on March 26th and married him on April 3rd. 8 days she married this individual, and she said she feels like this is the perfect person for her. And I want to congratulate them because that's a beautiful thing to meet someone. I guess I would just have a fear of marrying somebody within 8 days because you really, but anyway, she's real spiritual, real religious. And she said the word of God spoke to her about that. And it's well okay in her soul. And my joke to her was, well, why y'all didn't get married on the seventh day? Because that would have been the day of completion. And her words to me was, we would have had the courthouse been open on a Sunday. So all of these people saying how they heal and is it too fast, too slow, or whatever. If you can marry someone in 8 days, man, you shaking and baking. So, but I ain't trying to, like they say, go to a funeral to pick up on nobody. But they always say you can find a good man at a wedding and a funeral. So y'all keep that in mind if you're looking. Go on, Danny, you got your hand up.
You sound like my mother right there. That's something my mother do. I don't know. I was wondering why my mother always going to funerals. Now you just, oh damn, you just.
That's where it is. When you go to a funeral, you can find a man, potato salad, string beans, and fried chicken all the time at the repast. Okay.
Okay. I see Douglas' hand has been up. Douglas?
Yes.
I know you want to chime in.
No, I was gonna say, who's that? King David or something when he was weeping over his child, and then when he came and said the child is dead, you know, he got up, got dressed, and went on about his business. So when it's confirmed that it's dead, it's kind of like, what's the use? Get on up, go find somebody in 8 days. Boom, you got a new relationship, a new lease on life. That's also, you know.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, everybody does things in their time and the way that, you know, they want. I'm not, you know, who are we to pass judgment on anybody? What's good for some is just not good for others. In that situation, I would also wish them nothing but love and happiness. And if they felt it and they did it. Me personally, I probably wouldn't. But, you know, again, that's me and that's my decision. Go ahead.
No, I can say, what was it Oprah Maya Angelou said? And he said, don't let a man tell you twice that he doesn't love you. When you hear it the first time.
Okay. Say it.
You know, it's time to move on.
That's right. Now that's absolutely correct.
You're longing over something that's dead. And this is what I have a question about for the people that were married and had the traditional wedding vows. You know, when it says until death do us part. Now I think, what if it meant the relationship died and not your spouse?
I agree.
That's a good.
I agree. It doesn't mean that you're dead and gone. It means that it has died.
And relationships can and do die.
And that's a good point, Douglas. But in reality, that word was supposed to be death do us part, like transition, dead, buried, 6 feet under, cremated, whatever you want to call it. but it could be a
Okay, so that's the
relationship.
same as equally yoked. Is that the same as equally yoked? Because you got to be equally yoked more than spiritually.
Well,
Wait,
you
how do a
correct.
relationship?
Listen, I always tell people, whatever make your boat float, get in it and cruise on. You know.
But
All
yeah,
right.
that's just something I
So
thought about. You know, reading the traditional wedding vows and stuff. But no, y'all said the topic of tonight was we always get to arguing and stuff.
no arguing. We just voicing our opinions.
We're just
We're
arguing.
still on topic,
Oh, shout out to
but
prayer
we're
for
trying to hear from the men.
So I have another question though for people who are single, not active people that are actively single and are dating, like actively meeting people, whether it's just in person, dating sites, whatsoever, family, friends. Do you guys find that it's complicated dating these days? Because a lot of people are hurt and are coming out of marriages that fail, relationships hurt. I've heard a whole lot of stuff, women cheating, men cheating, all kind of stuff. Do you feel that it's complicated to date because of that? Because a lot of hurt people are out here and they don't want to let go of the past experiences. So they're
Hey, I'm
bringing
gonna say
hurt.
some people don't even realize that they hurt.
They hurt, right? And they're bringing stuff, right? Exactly.
Right,
So
they
they're
don't
bringing
realize
stuff.
it. And that's the key problem.
Because
when a person don't realize that they're hurt and have
because
a
I had a situation and I should have ran. When the fellow was telling me about, the past relationship and how much, was done. And of course, there's two sides to every story, but unfortunately, a lot of times we don't get to hear the other side to the story. But that was a prime example of someone who was hurting, and hurt people, and that happened to be the outcome of that whole situation. Because people are literally carrying baggage and hurt, and they're not getting therapy, they're not doing things, and they are, like you said, Dr. Fast, some of them don't even realize that they're still struggling and carrying from the last, and they're spilling it over into new relationships.
Yes, that does.
Well, I got a question to your question at first.
Go ahead.
Everywhere people say it's hard to date or whatever. To me, it's like you see somebody, you have a basic attraction enough to go on a date, and you take it from there. It doesn't matter if you met them online, in church, at a funeral, at a wedding, at the gas station. You have some spark of interest to go out, or y'all just hungry and want a free meal or something. But even then, you get to know people.
I take the free meal.
I sure take it every time.
And I'll pay for a free meal, but it ain't gonna be at Ruth Chris. You're gonna get cheddar bay biscuits with the coupon. Coupon is my friend. But no, and then y'all say, well, it shouldn't be a interview on the first date. I got some basic things.
Lady T said it got to be an interview in order for it to move any further.
Right. Yeah. I got some basic things that I need to know up front before we can go on.
I agree.
Lady T, that's Lady T line there.
Yeah, sure is, all day long.
I mean, and then you start learning and working stuff out. And if you women, if you pick up that there's some unresolved issues, then you need to take it upon yourself to step back and tell the dude he needs to go fix that.
But you know what, Douglas, you said
you can't tell no dude that. Not in 2023. They either curse you out.
And
as you step back, you just hear the cursing out.
Douglas, listen, in this day and age, I believe women and men both see the red flags, but sometimes some people are so lonely and don't want to be by themselves. They continue to trudge forward when you've seen about 1, 2, 3, 4 red flags and you still choose to do it. So Douglas, hold your thought. Heather, your hand is up. Go ahead, Heather.
I'm raising my hand because I've done that, everything that you said. And not 100% because of loneliness, but because there may have been something that connected you to that person. But then I'll also start to wonder, do I attract people who are so hurt that I try to be so understanding? And after a while, it hurts you. It hurts you because whatever pain and whatever that person has gone through in their past, or even currently with current, familial relationships or past relationships that still impact them, it's really hard dating out here. It's given me to a point where I've taken a break because I said I need to sit down and figure out, okay, when I see, I don't like to call them red flags, but they are red flags, that I need to take myself aback. And I think that's why I'm the type of person where I'm asking a lot of questions, because I want to understand. I don't want to just shut a person down because they have certain experiences, because maybe they're healing through that process. Like, I'm giving them a chance to figure out what they're doing because I feel like there's a connection. But sometimes you just have to leave it alone. And, if they heal and they get things together in their life that brings you back or them back to you in a space where it's like, okay, this makes more sense, then that's a better time. But the hurt that person is going through, sometimes they don't realize that they're pouring it on you. And when you try to express yourself about what you feel is going through, you still get backlash. So at some point, you're just like, you know what? I took on too much. I took on so much that I could chew, and I can't chew this anymore. I care about this person, but no, it's not working.
Heather, but check this out. They say that all individuals have a type, and you said, are you attracting this same type individual?
Yes.
If you are, there is something you got to switch up to maneuver to get that different type of tally.
Yes, ma'am.
You may be going in the same location, switch it up a little bit. And ladies and gentlemen of Tantalizing Talk, I know there are a lot of individuals who are single here who are looking for that good person. Heather said she's taking a break. Douglas said he wasn't ready yet. But sooner than later, we're going to get this thing crack-a-lacking so we can start having some interaction, some intermingling with individuals, because we're going to be having another group submerge with Tantalizing Talk so we can get some dating going on here. Just because I'm single now, I'm not looking for anyone in my tantalizing group, because I had to kick Danny to the curb. He was a little too much. I couldn't got choked, Danny. But anywho, nevertheless,
You can't handle you, Dan.
I'm just
do
playing
choke.
with
That
you,
ain't
Danny.
nothing
Danny, you can't handle it. Anywho,
Ain't you used to choking? What you talking
And got
about?
choked.
I got
Okay.
choked. Yeah, I
Too
got
much.
choked.
Hey, she always getting
messing with
choked. She
Dan.
always getting choked. She always getting choked. That ain't
All
nothing
y'all, I
new.
think most of y'all missed that. Y'all know how to talk.
Okay, nevertheless, Douglas, I'm gonna go. Heather, were you finished?
Yes, she was finished. It was
No, she
going on
wasn't.
to
Heather,
me.
were you finished?
Yes, I was
Okay.
finished.
Okay, I'm gonna come on over to Anthony, and then I'm gonna
Wait,
get you,
I got a
Danny.
question for Heather.
No. Come on, Douglas.
Have you gotten home from the gym yet?
No, I didn't go to the gym today, Douglas.
Lord, he's trying to make that move, that smooth move. See, that's what I'm
I
talking
hear it
about.
loud and
We're
clear.
gonna
I
start
hear
this
you. I hear you,
interaction.
Douglas.
That was
that's
a
that 6
smooth
months ago
move,
message.
Douglas. I'm watching you, Douglas. We're gonna get you hooked up on the hookup.
No, but I had a statement. I gotta say it before I forget it.
Come on, Douglas.
Oh yeah, and this dating stuff and trying to hook up, well, not hook up, but in a relationship, I figured out that what's my saying? I'm not strong enough to be weak.
Douglas, that was only words that could come from a Omega man. Roof, goodbye. Come on, Anson.
Keisha had said exactly what I was gonna say to Heather in the comments. I was gonna say the exact same thing. That was exactly what was on my mind.
Can
But
you
I-
read it for us? Because I don't see the chat because I got mine closed out. Can you read it for me?
basically, you are what you attract. I mean, you attract what you are. So if
So are
if
you saying that Heather is a little bruised and broken? That's the reason why
you
she
said it
did that,
herself,
huh?
if you was listening to her, she said it at the very beginning. She said
So
it.
you're saying she's attracting them type people because deep down within she has the same surface issue.
Yeah,
This
she
may
said
be
it at the
true.
very beginning.
Yeah.
She said at the very beginning, and Keisha said exactly what I was thinking.
One
Is that
question. Can I give an example?
okay?
You ever thought of somebody in your head and they call you, be like, damn, I was just thinking about you. Whatever
Yes.
you have in your inside, that's what you attract. And I'm gonna say that right now. I've attracted broken people because I'm broken. I haven't known how to heal myself. Meaning I'm gonna attract every broken person in my life because I have not healed. Once I heal and you vibrate on a higher vibration, you're gonna meet people on that same level as you.
That
That's
was
just how it
deep,
is, period.
Keisha. That was truly deep. I'm gonna give you.
You
I
better
had to
preach,
give you a
Sister
high
Keisha.
five on that one, Keisha. Okay.
Thank you,
All right, I hear
Keisha.
that.
And before, because I forgot what I said, our generation, these people that we are right now in our community, we are all broken. And it's not even broken from being hurt. We've been broken years from slavery and all of those stuff. We've been broken. And we keep going in it and being programmed or whatever. People in society wants us to think. People just need to really shut these phones off and everything and really find out what they need to do to heal themselves, because we need to heal our community. We need to heal our women. We need to heal our males, because there's a lot of things I was hearing and talking. I was like, we need some help.
I agree.
What it is.
Keisha.
But we need help.
And what I was
Keisha, my
initially
prayers go out to you, girl. I'm glad I missed that boat because I ain't broken, y'all. I'm living my best life right now. And I always say,
Like
don't call
it's
me
gold,
Dr.
like
Fabulous
it's
for
golden.
nothing.
Like it's
Yes.
golden.
so to
Life is
the reason why I
definitely
put my
golden.
hand up in the first place.
Really?
The reason why I put my hand
Who
up
is
in the
that with
first place
really?
was
Danny.
That's
Was that
me.
you,
I got my
Danny?
hand up. Yeah, I got my hand up. I'm on the talk. I'm on the talk.
Okay, go
I'm
ahead,
still trying to
Danny.
speak though. You know,
No,
I
No, go
Anson
ahead.
was
Sorry,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Anson
Go
was
ahead,
a
Anthony. Go
minute.
ahead, Anthony. Go ahead, Anthony.
no. What I was saying is when I first raised my hand, because I was Keisha had made the comment after I raised my hand. So what I initially raised my hand for was what we talking about. I've been sitting back listening and listening to everybody talk. And the fact is, ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. You know what I mean? It's okay to dish out whatever you dish out, but as soon as you get it back, it's a problem. That's why a lot of people can't get over their hurt, because they dishing out hurt, but they get mad when they get hurt in return.
All right.
Can I elaborate with
Do you
you,
think?
Anson? And they always say this, and I saw it in I don't do the chat thing because I can't get across the board and read chat too. But I've heard this statement several times that hurt people. But when they don't recognize that they're hurt, and then the person that they're hurting don't recognize they're being hurt because that red flag is up and they want so much to be with someone, then it's just a trickle down effect. It just keeps going. It's like a big old snowball getting bigger and bigger. So somebody said that someone can't make you happy. If you don't have that core, and when I say that core within you to be who you want to be, to feel the way you want to feel, and I can give an amen to Leanne. I'm 59 years old. I'm feeling very fine. And every day that I wake up with breath in my body, I'm excited to be alive, whether I'm with someone, by myself, whatever. Because guess what? You got to have something within you to make you feel good, you know? And I always,
how you feel, ain't no
well,
fun.
I feel,
Regardless of how
because
you feel,
we
regardless of
work
how
on
you feel,
emotions.
ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. So if you
Okay,
dish it
but
out,
who is the rabbit other than yourself?
You have to translate for me because I'm not used to that terminology.
Yeah, who is the rabbit? The rabbit would be you, correct?
okay, let me break it down to everyone who don't understand what I'm saying. So if you for example, if you cussing somebody out on a regular basis, you can't get mad if the man you cussing out on a regular basis cusses you out from time to time.
But then that's systematically letting you know that that's a toxic relationship. You shouldn't even want to be into such, because if you got to use
Amen.
profanity with the person you supposed to be loving on, then that ain't the trick or trade right there. You have to let that go and get that person that fit. Like you wear a size 10 shoe, don't go try to buy a size 7.5. Get the right size.
I said at the beginning of my statement, if you all were listening to me, I said, if you're cussing somebody out on a regular basis and they decided to cuss you out in return occasionally, it's not a problem. So the key to that statement is you're cussing him out on a regular basis. It ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. That is the point.
But that's
so
what I'm
you got to hold yourself
say.
accountable for what you do in relationships. You cannot just expect the man to just accept whatever you put forth. So it ain't no
hear you
if the rabbit got the
clearly, Anson. I hear you clearly. But when you're in a good relationship, a wholesome relationship, you shouldn't even have that technicality with cussing. You should be so busy loving on one another. And I was saying, I told Heather the other night, I said, you know what? My marriage was so good. God called my husband home, but it was so good. I told Heather it was almost like a fairy tale, and we were going to write a book, because it's funny. People don't know how we met, but I met my husband online playing spades, and every day got sweeter and sweeter. So when the analogy come about these old bitter, broken, shattered relationships, I can't even really understand, because I've never felt that. And if you've never felt that, then I can't tell you. I just know what toxicity looks like from afar, because I've never had to experience that. When and that's really bad for me, because right now when I'm dating and someone approach me and that first flag come up, I'm like, honey, burn the flag. I ain't even gonna put myself in that situation, because I know what I'm looking for, what I expect, and what I'm used to. So I'm not going to cater to anything just to have something. I hope I made that point clear to you, Anson. Danny, are you
okay, and I
finished,
hope I made
Anson?
my point clear, is that you have to hold yourself accountable for what you do. You cannot expect your mate or your man that you're dealing with to just accept anything just because you feel it's acceptable. What I'm saying is that is a part of the healing process, holding yourself accountable for what you do.
Got you. And that's why when you lead with honey and it's sweet, because you can always get better things by being sweet like honey than sour like vinegar. And I understand exactly what you're saying, ladies and gentlemen. If you going in with a negative, you're going to come out with a negative. So are you finished with me, Anson?
Yep.
All right. Moving on over here to Danny.
I just got a question for everybody. Question and a statement.
Okay.
For the people that's married and had long marriages, congratulations to you. But for the people that's dating and still looking, you're dating for a purpose, right? So that means you're dating multiple people. And dating could be a month, dating could be 2 years. Don't you learn something from each person? Don't you learn something new about yourself from that person, from each experience?
You're supposed to.
You're supposed to, right?
Mm-hmm.
So people going in thinking that you the one, it might not be it. You might be building me up for somebody, for the one. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the realization that I'm coming to.
Yes, that's true, because everyone not for everybody.
Yeah, everybody's not for everybody.
Exactly. And thank you so much, Danny. We're moving along. I'm going to swing it on over to the one and only Dr. Feelgood. Are you ready, Dr. Feelgood?
I thought Nasty J was going, but I could take the mantle.
Now, Nasty J said he had something he had to take care of.
I can you hear me, guys?
Yes. We can hear you.
Yeah, I can say my part about the healing process. Time and patience it takes men longer, in my opinion, for healing. Men are taught to keep their emotion and feel inside, not to express their true feelings, how they feel about a situation. If man tells someone or a woman how you feel, they tend to get judged by considered being weak. So men, from a child, from a younger days, be tough, be strong, don't say anything, shut up, and keep the emotion inside. So when a man experiences a heartbreak, he tends to hold it on inside. And he may find you a girlfriend or dating by using sex as a way to fill that void, but he never really truly heal. So I think men should get, or people in general, men and women should seek professional help, because no one talks about professional help in this conversation about healing. So you need to seek out some professional therapy, because we have trauma from childhood, neighborhood, just all kind of trauma or experience in life that we go through, broken heart, and we hide inside like a secret vault. To really let that out or express how we truly feel. That's just how I feel about the healing process. So the question I had, can you hear me?
We can.
Yeah. So the question I asked, should man and a woman talk about their past hurt experience in your relationship?
Should they discuss it as far as if they want to date or something?
They're dating someone, let's say a man and a girl, they start dating and they get real serious. Should they talk about their past hurt, like, oh, I was in love with Susie and she broke my heart because XYZ, or vice versa. A woman say, hey, I was in love with Tom and Tom broke my heart. Should they talk about it, never discuss in a relationship? Should they keep it separate or keep a secret vault in a relationship?
Well,
women asking that the first night, brother.
No, from a female perspective, a OG like myself, most of the time when you're meeting someone, you're looking to deal with what's going on right now. But if you have an individual and they're hurting and they just got to express it, I always say, and I've said it to men that I was talking to, baby, listen, if you can't get over your past, that hurt, then you still have something inkling in your heart for that individual. And you can't go further with another relationship until you clean that one up. So that's what I always say to
I disagree.
You disagree?
Yeah, because sometimes, because men would hide how they feel about if they know it's going to offend you, they ain't going to tell the truth. Make sense?
But you know what? It's just like you putting a Band-Aid on a cut instead of getting stitches. That's what I'm saying. Men can do it. Women can do just the same. Cover it up. Larry could have hurt you so bad and I've had different women that I've been talking to, so to speak, because the new thing is with being a lesbian, this and that and the other. And I had several young ladies tell me that they became lesbians because they had been hurt so bad by a man. And so, when I hear this, I can't tell them who not to love or who to love, but I will say, if someone has hurt you to that point of no return, which they have told me, then you must still have something deep down that hurt, that caring for that individual that you got to clean up before you move on. But if you're saying that a man can go ahead and move on, surely they can. But it's still embedded in their system like rigor mortis, and it's still eating at them. I don't care what you say.
Correct.
And Anson, you got your hand up.
Yeah, to answer Ravon's question, yes, I think you should. It should be mentioned if there's something that you don't want to experience again. So they say that history repeats itself. So if you're with someone and let's say, for instance, your past relationships, you were cheated on or beat on, I don't see nothing wrong with expressing that to who you with, to let them know that you're not for that, you're not with that. Because if you don't, they say the squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Correct.
So if
but sometimes
you quiet, you might get beat because this man might be willing to beat you, or you might get cheated on Well, you still could get cheated on even if you express yourself. But my main point is, if it's something that's important to you that you don't want to go through again, you might want to express that to who you with.
Thank you, Anson. Nasty J.
Yeah, like women tend to use that against men, like he said, open up and tell how I feel. But a woman may turn in the future in an argument, use that same thing. I'm gonna do you like how XYZ do you, or throw in your face.
I mean,
I've seen happen all the
Could be
time.
a catch-22.
That goes to the nature of the person.
It's a catch-22 too. So it's best to keep it as a secret vault. Don't talk about it, because she may use the same thing against you. You know what I'm saying? Or vice versa.
But I think that's just as bad. That's just as bad. That's a whole nother, that makes it worse. So then you wind up getting what happened to you before happened to you, and that person throw it in your face. Yeah, that's double hurt. But that just shows you what type of woman you're dealing with.
You track what you, like you say, you track what you are on the surface, right?
Well, yeah, I agree with Keisha on that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that could be a good topic, y'all. Are you attracting what you really putting out there?
Yes.
Any more questions?
One last question. You have all the answers. What's the best way for both male and female to get over a broken heart, in your opinion? Besides time and patience.
Who you posing that question to?
Therapy.
Let's get some people we haven't heard from.
Therapy,
Crystal,
like,
are you willing to answer that question, Crystal?
Well, for one, sometimes it may take some therapy, because it's very hard to heal from a broken heart. And if you move on too quickly, you're only shortchanging yourself and that person, because you're not over that person that's really hurt you badly. So therapy.
And that's what I just said.
For sure.
Yeah. And Miss Nicole, Sunshine, Tammy, all of y'all can jump in. Don't feel shy, because everybody's opinion counts here. And we would love to hear from you if you're willing to share with us. Nicole, can you hear me?
I will.
Oh, Tammy, go ahead. You
Yes.
ready? I'm ready for you, Tammy.
Hello, everyone. So I've been listening. I've been communicating through the chat, but I feel like with heartbreak, there's no particular way that you can say to get over it, because everybody is different, because what works for you may not work for me. And I think a lot of that deals with how our upbringing is, how you are as an adult, how you was as a child. All those things will play a role in how you handle different situations.
All right. Well, thank you, thank you, Tammy, for sharing with us. I was about to call you Keisha, because I saw Keisha's hand come up and go back down. Sunshine, can you hear me? Well, Sunshine, I just want to welcome you again, because I saw you here last week. I appreciate you logging on. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Feelgood.
Hey, people, it's Dr. Feelgood here, the man with the golden voice, ladies' choice, and of course, smooth as Rolls Royce. Hey, we are running short on time. I'm just going to wrap it all up. You know, how do you mend a broken heart? How do you make a person refeel, and not those same old feelings? Because a lot of times we get ourselves in a do loop. We start out, we miss that person. We forget all the bad stuff that happens, and we think of the good stuff. And then we get with somebody else, and we're carrying, somebody said it earlier, we carry our luggage, we carry our baggage from relationship to relationship. Woman, I am not an airport. You don't bring too much baggage here. You either leave it where you at, or you can keep on going, because I am not a way station for rehabilitating folks. And therapy. If you don't think therapy works, then that's because you haven't tried it. Get with a reputable therapist, someone who's dispassionate about situations, and just give you the things you need to heal. talk to somebody. Clergy, if you're religious, don't drink or drug yourself away. Don't smoke stuff because that's what's good to do. You know, live your life. The best life is a life lived with ups and downs. If you don't feel anything, you haven't tried anything. So if you never felt love, you never got hurt. If you never got hurt, you never really felt love. Because people say love don't hurt, but that's not the truth. It's not. It is a fact, but it's not truth. Because sometimes when you're away from your person, you're still in love. You're still in love, but you feel hurt because they're not in your presence. So love does hurt in certain fashions. It doesn't have to be a negative thing, but it just happens. And one of the things is that don't let your partner steal your dang on joy. Do not let your partner steal your joy. Be the person that's best for you. Do what's best for yourself, because I'm not in charge of your happiness. I'm not in charge of your entertainment.
Ding, ding,
I'm
ding.
definitely not in charge of your well-being as far as I'm not going to make you take your medicines. I will, however, talk to you and ask you, do you care about me enough to care for yourself? Because I gotta care. I care enough about me to care for you. So you should care enough about me to care for yourself, because I want you here. That's all I got this week. Hey, thank everybody for coming on and giving us some fun. Back to you, Dr. Fab, to close us out.
All right. Well, I didn't welcome Dottie. I see a new name, Dottie, Andreen. I didn't get a chance to hear your voice tonight, Andreen. Always I look forward to that. And welcome back, Bridget. You've been gone. We missed you and all that good stuff. And everyone here, thank you so much for sharing. Let me give a special thank you to Heather and Anson and Douglas, because those three right there. Oh, Danny, you get a little bit of it too. But I thank everyone for coming on, sharing with us, because sometimes people don't want to hear what they got to say because it's coming deep. And all the time, people will say when you're speaking something that could be your truth. So everybody learn how to release and let go and just enjoy life. And I'm going to turn it over to Lady T, then to Special K, and one time for Nasty J. So Lady T, go ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Fabulous. I just want to say, they call the past for a reason. And when you're going into a new relationship, you have to keep an open mind and you have to be honest, but you don't need to tell your business, because sometimes the man or woman will take that, and use it. And I feel like when you're dating with a new relationship, you need to let them figure you out. Let them, build their perspective of you. So just be honest. And for those who are single, try something new. Just, jump out there and, live. And that's all I have to say.
All right, Special K.
Yes, can you guys hear me? Okay.
We can.
Okay, well, I just want to say this was a great topic tonight. I feel like we need a part 2, because I learned so much, and believe it or not, it was this session right here and just hearing everyone's perspective and opinions was sort of a therapy for me. I don't know how it was for anyone else, but I just want to say thank you everyone for participating, and good night, and just remember to continue to heal, grow, and love.
All right. And Nasty J, you got anything to say? Nasty J. Well, Nasty J is Mr. Jackson. So apparently he's caught up right now.
No, can you hear me?
We can hear you, Nasty J, because I was getting ready to move right on through the station.
I'm sorry, my phone was on pause. Well, thanks for tuning into the show. It was a great topic on healing. If anyone experiencing a broken heart or trauma, please seek professional help and talk to a friend or someone, or even a pastor, or even go online, seek therapy, and move on and put your trust in God and hopefully we can have a part 2 conversation about healing, because it's very therapeutic for me as well. Listen to everybody's experience and opinion on healing.
All right. Well, with that being said, you all can join us on Facebook, Upscale Love for You group. We have a page, and also on YouTube, please. Our email is upscaleloveforyou@gmail.com. You can send in your questions that you want us to talk about, any topic. We're always open. No conversation is better than the next. So if you send it, we'll definitely throw it out there, get it wound up, and we will talk about it. So that once again, our email is upscalelove4u@gmail.com. Please go to YouTube, like us, share, and subscribe, because we are moving forward to make it happen. And to each and every one of you, I would like to say, see you the same place next week, same time, but a different topic with, how they say, healing in mind. Love you and good night. And guess what? Smooches. Mwah. Good night.